If you're serious about becoming a good photographer, then it's like anything else. Practice makes perfect. I recently bought a small LED work light for a kitchen repair job, and I wondered how it would work on a still life. I also have two LED lights with grids that I seldom use, so I thought I'd try those out also. I don't shoot too many still lifes, so I thought this would be an interesting exercise in lighting. Here's the still life setup. A couple of bottles, an old clock, and a pot. I just picked up things lying around the house. I spaced them out to work on focus and depth of field adjustments. The goal of this shoot is to try and achieve a candlelight effect with LED lights. Here's a straight up shot in ambient light. The backdrop is in front of a southern window, so it provided some backlighting. The overhead incandescent lights in the room were on also. There really isn't too much interest, and there isn't much contrast in this shot. I'm shooting today with my Canon 5D Mark III and with a Canon 24 to 70mm f4 zoom lens. This is by far my favorite camera, and I use it for all my commercial work. It has never ever let me down. For the first setup, I'm using the small LED work light that I bought at Home Depot. It costs around $40 and puts out a decent amount of light. The nice thing about LEDs is that they don't get hot and they last forever. They're relatively inexpensive, which is also very convenient. Again, here's the first setup using the single LED work light. Another LED lamp is in position, but not turned on. As I said, I was trying to get a candlelight look, so using a light modifier, such as a small umbrella or screen, wouldn't work here. I can already see an exposure problem, and I bet you can too, which is a blown out clock face. I could spot meter on it, but everything else would be very dark. This is a common problem in everyday shooting, so it never hurts to practice how to handle it. I could move the light back, but if you're shooting in the field, most of the time you don't have control over the lighting. I decided to try partial metering mode, which for me works pretty well in these situations. Here's the first shot using the single LED work light. It's pretty much what I was looking for. I processed the image in Lightroom by taking down the exposure by around 2 stops, but that was it. I like the orange reflection on the backdrop from the bottle and the shadow cast by the clock. Also, I wanted to mention that I always shoot in RAW mode and mostly in manual mode. This gives you the most flexibility when post-processing your image. Here are the two LED lamps I thought I'd try out. They came with a Polaroid product shooting booth, and I haven't used them much. They don't put out a lot of power, and the grid softens the already weak light. As I said, I'm not using any shoot-through modifiers or reflectors for the candlelight look I want, so I'm just going to try them out and see what happens. Here's a shot with the two LEDs. Doesn't look like candlelight to me, and I see another problem. It's the focus on the pot in the foreground. When you run into this situation in these kind of lighting conditions, something's going to be out of focus, and the overall image will not be very great. I'm pretending I don't have control over the lighting, so the best thing to do is change the composition. I like to try and get closer instead of going wider. Here's the last lighting setup for this shoot. This is using the LED work light in front and one of the LED lamps on the left side. I put the other lamp behind the clock and bottle to get some backlighting. I took some shots with and without the pot. All I can say, if you want to be a better photographer, practice with setups like this. You'll be surprised how much you learn and can apply when you're out in the field shooting. Well, thanks for watching. This is Jeff, and see you again soon.